Welcome back to Stamps Old World UK, the channel where history, rarity, and hidden value come together in the fascinating world of classic postage stamps. And today we are diving deep into one of the most iconic and widely recognized stamps in philatelic history, the United States 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp, a small piece of paper that has traveled across decades and continents and still holds strong interest and real market value in today's stamp collecting world. This 1-cent green stamp featuring Benjamin Franklin is more than just old postage. It represents the foundation of American postal history and mass communication, because Franklin was not only a founding figure of the United States, but also the first postmaster general, making his portrait especially meaningful on early definitive stamps. This design became one of the most printed and circulated stamps in U.S. history, used for everyday mailing during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which means millions were produced, but not all surviving examples are equal in value today. The stamp you are seeing belongs to the classic 1-cent Franklin series, commonly associated with issues from the early 1900s, particularly the famous 1908 to 1922 Washington Franklin series, though earlier engraved Franklin designs also exist. The green color, the detailed engraving of Franklin's profile, the ornate frame, and the bold 1-cent denomination at the bottom are all key identifiers collectors look for when classifying and valuing this stamp. Even small variations in color shade, perforation size, watermark presence, and printing method can significantly affect its market price. Condition plays a massive role in determining today's market value of this stamp. In poor or heavily used condition, with heavy cancellation marks, faded color, torn edges, or missing perforations, the value may be quite low, often ranging from $1 to $3 in today's market. These examples are still collectible for beginners, but they are mainly valued for historical interest rather than investment potential. In average used condition, where the stamp has a visible postmark but retains good color, intact perforations, and no major damage, the value can rise to around $5 to $15, depending on the exact issue and printing variety. Collectors often seek these mid-grade examples to complete album sets, especially when the stamp is clearly identifiable and visually appealing despite postal use. In very fine condition, the story changes dramatically. A 1-cent Franklin stamp with sharp corners, full perforations, strong green color, and a light, well-centered cancellation can be worth anywhere from $20 to $50, and sometimes even more if it belongs to a scarcer printing or variety. Centering is especially important, as stamps that are perfectly balanced within the frame are far rarer than off-centered examples. Unused or mint condition 1-cent Franklin stamps are where collectors and investors truly pay attention. A mint stamp with original gum intact, no hinge marks, and excellent centering can reach values between $75 and $200 in today's stamp market. Exceptional examples certified by professional grading services can go even higher, particularly if they are from an early issue or feature rare characteristics such as unusual perforations or printing errors. Some Franklin 1-cent stamps are extremely valuable due to rare varieties. Certain issues with specific watermarks, double-line watermarks, coil formats, or experimental perforations can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. These are not common finds, but they are the reason collectors carefully examine every old Franklin stamp they come across, sometimes using magnification tools and watermark detectors to uncover hidden rarity. Market demand for classic U.S. stamps like the 1-cent Franklin remains steady because they appeal to a global collector base. American classic stamps are widely traded in the UK, Europe, and Asia, and collectors appreciate them for their historical importance, detailed engraving, and strong documentation. Auction houses, online marketplaces, and stamp fairs continue to report consistent sales for high-quality Franklin issues, especially those with verified authenticity and condition. Another important factor in today's value is authenticity. Because of the stamp's popularity, forgeries and reprints exist, and serious collectors always recommend expert certification for higher value examples. A certified stamp not only sells faster, but often commands a significantly higher price because buyers have confidence in what they are purchasing. In today's digital age, where communication is instant and disposable, stamps like the 1-cent Franklin remind us of a time when every letter carried weight, intention, and craftsmanship. This small green stamp once paid for letters that crossed towns, states, and oceans, and now it carries historical and monetary value for collectors who preserve it. If you own a 1-cent Franklin, do not underestimate it. Examine its condition carefully, store it properly in a protective sleeve, and consider having it evaluated if it appears unusually well preserved or different from common examples. Many valuable stamps are sitting quietly in old albums, inherited collections, or forgotten drawers, waiting to be rediscovered. Next up, the United States 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp from the classic mid-19th century era, a stamp that represents the very beginning of organized postal service in America and remains highly respected and collected in today's global stamp market. This 1-cent Franklin stamp is instantly recognizable by its bold engraved portrait of Benjamin Franklin, surrounded by an ornate and formal frame that reflects the printing artistry of the 1850s. Issued originally in the 1851 to 1857 period and later reissued in slightly modified forms, this stamp was created to prepay domestic letter rates and played a crucial role in everyday correspondence during a time when handwritten letters were the primary means of communication across the growing United States. Benjamin Franklin's presence on this stamp is deeply symbolic, as he was not only a founding father, but also the architect of the American postal system. His portrait on the 1-cent denomination highlights his importance to communication and public service, making this stamp historically significant far beyond its small size and face value. The design details of this stamp are extremely important for collectors. The fine engraved lines, the symmetrical scroll work, the clear 1-cent denomination, and the strong green coloration all help identify authentic examples. Variations in shade, from pale green to deep blue-green, are common and can affect desirability and value. Paper type, impression sharpness, and margin size are also critical factors when determining market worth. Condition is the most powerful driver of value in today's stamp market. In heavily used or damaged condition, with tight margins, heavy cancellations, thinning, or tears, this 1-cent Franklin stamp may be valued between $10 and $30. These examples are still collectible and historically important, but they are generally sought by beginner collectors or those filling album spaces. In average used condition, where the stamp shows a clear but not overly heavy cancellation, good color, and reasonable margins on all sides, the market value typically ranges from $40 to $100. These mid-grade examples are very popular among collectors because they balance affordability with strong visual appeal and historical authenticity. High-quality examples of this stamp can be truly impressive in value. A 1-cent Franklin with large, even margins, sharp engraving, vibrant color, and a light or well-placed cancellation can command prices from $200 to $500 in today's market. Collectors especially prize stamps with cancellations that do not obscure Franklin's face, as visual clarity significantly enhances desirability. Unused examples of this stamp are far rarer and dramatically more valuable. A genuine, unused 1-cent Franklin from this era, particularly one with original gum or proven unused status, can be worth several $1,000s. Certified examples in very fine condition have sold at major auctions for prices exceeding $5,000, depending on margin size, color freshness, and expert certification. There are also rare varieties that elevate this stamp into elite collecting territory. Certain printings exist with subtle plate differences, color variations, or distinctive cancellations from specific post offices that collectors actively seek. Some examples on cover, meaning still attached to the original envelope, can be even more valuable as they provide direct historical context and postal usage evidence. Authentication is essential for stamps of this age and value. Because 19th century Franklin stamps have been widely forged and altered over the decades, serious collectors rely on expert certificates to confirm authenticity. A certified stamp not only protects the buyer, but also significantly increases resale value and market confidence. Today's market demand for classic United States stamps like this 1-cent Franklin remains strong worldwide. Collectors in the United Kingdom, Europe, and Asia actively pursue these issues due to their age, historical importance, and consistent long-term value. Unlike modern stamps produced in massive quantities, these early Franklin issues have survived wars, time, and changing technologies, making well-preserved examples increasingly scarce. Owning a stamp like this is not just about money, it is about holding a genuine artifact from the mid-19th century, a time when letters carried news, hope, and connection across long distances. This 1-cent Franklin once paid the cost of a simple letter, and today it stands as a powerful reminder of how communication shaped nations. If you have this stamp in your collection, examine it carefully, protect it properly, and consider professional evaluation if the margins and condition appear strong. Many valuable stamps are overlooked simply because their owners do not realize what they have. Next up, the United States 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp, a design that perfectly captures the elegance and precision of early 20th century stamp engraving. This particular 1-cent Franklin stamp is instantly identified by the U.S. postage inscription at the top and the 1-cent denomination at the bottom, with a finely engraved side profile of Benjamin Franklin framed by decorative laurel leaves and detailed line work. This design was part of the famous Washington Franklin Definitive Series, issued in the early 1900s, a period when the United States postal system was rapidly expanding and stamps were produced for heavy daily use across cities, towns, and rural routes. Benjamin Franklin's portrait on this stamp carries immense historical weight. As the first Postmaster General of the United States, Franklin laid the foundation for organized mail delivery, postal routes, and standardized rates. His image on the 1-cent denomination symbolized affordable communication for ordinary people, making this stamp one of the most widely used and recognized issues of its time. Collectors today closely study the details of this stamp to determine its exact type and value. Factors such as perforation size, watermark presence, printing method, and color shade all play an important role. Some issues were printed with watermarks while others were not, and this single detail alone can mean the difference between a common stamp and a more desirable collectible. The green color also varies from yellow-green to deep bluish-green, with richer shades often commanding stronger market interest. Condition is everything when assessing the current market value of this stamp. In poor condition, with heavy cancellations, rounded corners, faded ink, or missing perforations, the stamp may be valued at around $1 to $3. These examples are common and mainly collected for reference or beginner albums. In average used condition, where the stamp retains solid color, readable details, and complete perforations, values typically range from $5 to $15. These examples remain popular because they are affordable, historically meaningful, and visually appealing enough for most collections. In very fine condition, where the stamp is well-centered, sharply printed, lightly canceled, and free of damage, the value increases significantly. Such examples can sell for $20 to $40, and sometimes more if the stamp belongs to a scarcer printing variety or shows exceptional eye appeal. Unused or mint examples of this 1-cent Franklin stamp attract strong collector attention. A mint stamp with original gum, no hinge marks, and excellent centering can be worth anywhere from $50 to over $100 in today's market. Certified mint examples in outstanding condition may achieve even higher prices at auction, especially when demand is strong. There are also rare coil versions, experimental printings, and perforation varieties within this Franklin series that can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. These are not easily identified without expert knowledge, which is why collectors carefully inspect every Franklin stamp they encounter, sometimes discovering hidden treasures in old albums or inherited collections. Market demand for Washington Franklin stamps remains stable worldwide because they represent a golden era of stamp production. Collectors in the United Kingdom and across Europe actively pursue these stamps for their historical importance, artistic engraving, and clear documentation. Even though millions were printed, truly high-quality examples are becoming harder to find each year. Authentication and proper storage are crucial for maintaining value. Stamps like this should be stored in acid-free sleeves or albums, away from moisture and sunlight. If a stamp appears unusually well preserved or different from common examples, professional evaluation is strongly recommended. This 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp is more than just a piece of old postage. It is a symbol of communication, progress, and craftsmanship from a time when letters connected families, businesses, and nations. What once cost 1 cent to mail now holds lasting value for collectors who appreciate its story and significance. Thank you for watching Stamps Old World UK, where we bring classic stamps to life and reveal their true market value in today's world. Stay tuned for more deep and detailed explorations, because even the smallest stamp can carry a legacy worth remembering and a value worth discovering.